Good evening, folks. This is Joan, and it's Friday night at 7:54, and I just thought we needed to have a chat. If you're feeling alone, holidays are coming, really kind of works on your mind, and we really have to look out for our mental happiness and our sanity. But I want you to know mainly that if you don't have family around you, let's say they're different states, or maybe you're older like I am and they're all gone. And us seniors, we don't have the social life like we used to when we were working. You got coworkers, holiday parties, and all that other. Well, once you retire, that kind of all goes away. So you find yourself sitting in the recliner a lot and being alone. And even if you got kids, they're busy with their lives, probably married, got kids of their own, and they don't come over so much. Or maybe they live in different states and you just don't see them. And so you're alone, and the holidays are coming up, and nothing's ever the same. And so I want you to know you're not alone. You think you're alone, but you're not alone. I will be on Christmas Eve. I will stay on this channel, and I will be here. I don't know how long, but if you're all by yourself, hop on, go in the chat. We'll chat. I'll find some kind of bullshit to talk about. I don't know. But here's what we got to keep in mind. Are we alone in this situation? Oh, hell no. There are a lot of people just like us that are alone. They got nobody. Let's just stop and think about it. Take a look at Tennessee and North Carolina and those in Florida. I keep watching videos of that. I've made videos of that, but I still to this day keep up with it because it's a far cry from being over. News media will throw out these death counts. Oh, there's 200 dead, blah, blah, blah. No. If you go up in the mountains, and I've watched videos of people that do, and especially locals that go up and check on these people, there are people that are keeping a death toll tally on a tree trunk. And they've got lists upon lists of people still missing. There was one guy that said he estimated the death toll to be about 2,000 because many of those missing are buried under several feet of mud. Well, they can't possibly still be alive. There's just so many layers of mud over them God forbid, those people are never going to be found. And so you've got maybe a husband whose wife is gone, children gone, whole families gone, and their siblings are looking for them. So when we're looking at ourselves on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, think about that and know that we aren't alone. There's actually people in far worse mental positions than we are. And it's going on every day. I mean, every day. I check websites. I've told you the research I do every day. There's things that are happening. Tragedy always seems to happen around the holidays. We've always heard this, right? But now that we get older and our families aren't right with us, we notice it more. And like what happened in Germany today. Today, the 20th, right? 5 days from Christmas, the 20th. 11 dead and 60 plus injured in Magdeburg, Germany, where a vehicle drove through a Christmas market. How horrific is that? And then you've got other tragedies that just happened today. And it's happening to police officers, young police officers that's probably got a wife and babies at home. In San Diego, a police officer who was severely injured in a deadly crash in August returned to duty on Friday. Good for him. That was in August. But yet there was a death in that one. And where was I? I was looking for a story I was reading earlier. Tennessee Bureau of Investigation announced Monday that the grand jury has indicted 31st Judicial District Attorney General Christopher Stanford of, I'm going to screw this up, McMinnville, after allegedly opening fire on Caleb Brooklands, a wanted murder suspect, striking a home with a woman and her 3 children inside. And there's more. Oh, then you've got the Madison, Wisconsin I read the story that was behind that. They said she had a manifesto that she left behind. Well, the investigation is far enough into it to where they were able to talk a little bit more on that. And what that girl was doing was she was going online and she had joined a group online. There was a terrorist organization. And I'm not going to say which one, but there was a terrorist organization and she joined in on it. And they were all talking about mass harm. Nicely put. You get the idea. Mass harm. All the members in the group in their area all at once. So it's like a hit here, a hit here, a hit here, a hit here in different locations throughout not only this country, but other countries as well. And whether they were going to cause mass fatalities. Well, she decided she was going to take care of her end of that. And that's when she decided to take one of her father's guns to school. And she shot students, killed a fellow student, a classmate, killed a classmate and the teacher. And then I guess part of the agreement with this group was after you finish the mass destruction, then off yourself. And that's exactly what she did. But in the meantime, there was either 8 or 9 children that were sent to the hospital with gunshot wounds. And then there was a deceased child and the teacher. And then the shooter offed herself. So again, when we're thinking about our loneliness this holiday season, we're not in that shock and trauma like the families of these poor people are, or this horrible incident in Germany. And I remember, wasn't it about, I want to say maybe 5 years ago? Actually, I think that happened in Wisconsin also. Wasn't there a senior parade that went on and they had floats and everything, and someone drove through that intentionally and there was fatalities, but several injuries in that one too. I remember that. And there's so much going on. So much going on. Just last night, I believe it was last night. Well, it happened yesterday. Not around me, but like an hour and 45 minutes away from me in Champaign, Illinois. There was a wellness check done on a house, and they found 3 family members in the home that were killed. And It was on their, I, no, it wasn't. The killer went in, murdered them people, and I didn't catch the age, but I know there was 3 murdered and it's a community off of Champaign. It's not directly in Champaign. It's another community name right next to Champaign in that area. So there was 3 murdered there. The killer then drove up to the Chicago area in a suburb called Berwyn. I know that community very well. Don't forget I was raised there in Chicago, in the suburbs. So I'm very familiar with Berwyn. And the killer that committed the murders in Champaign area drove up like I-55 or Stevenson Expressway, they call it. Drove up there, went to Berwyn, went up to this person's house, and they had one of those Ring doorbells with the camera. So they reviewed that this guy ringing the doorbell, and nobody answered the door, so he broke in, shot the people had 2 dogs. He shot and killed the dogs. Thank God the people weren't home. But he shot and killed the 2 dogs. By this time, the state police were already on him. So were the Berwyn police. And they saw him run out the back door. He turned around and started shooting at them, at the police. So the police got into a shootout with him. And of course, he ended up dead. And I'm just reading all this throughout my day, and I'm like, what the hell? Has everybody just lost their mind? I mean, look at the anger. Every time you read and hear things, you just, it's that anger and that hatred that's in people's hearts. I can't even imagine harming someone. I can't even imagine it. I don't care how angry I get at somebody. It's just the way I feel, and I would hope many feel the same way. No matter how angry I get at somebody, I will never violate them, their body, their space by going to strike them. Nobody has got the right to do that. Nobody has got the right, no matter how angry you are at somebody, you don't have that right. It all goes back to the biblical phrase, do unto others as you want them to do to you. And that's, I think about that and I think when I hear about these crimes, it just makes me wonder, where's the mentality of these people to make them think that it's okay to harm others and then take it to the extreme to where you fatally harm others? But because you're so self-centered and into your own self that you feel like you're the only one worthy to live? Is that it? Because I can't come up with any other explanation. So when we're going through a holiday alone, please know You might be sitting alone, but you're not alone in those feelings. You are a far cry from being alone in those feelings. I mean, I'm alone too. I've got one child lives 230 miles away. The other one is about an hour away, but too busy to visit, too busy to call. I get a text message on my birthday. Happy birthday, didn't forget. Thanks. I only spent 18 years of my life raising and giving up what I wanted to better your life. And remember when times got rough, you came back after you moved away, and they forget. So I don't know what to say. It is what it is. They get so wrapped up into their life. Now the one that's 230 miles away, I hear from him almost on a daily basis. He's he's got that older mindset to where it's more engaged in, hey, it's time to turn the tables. I got to look out after her because she's a senior now. It clicked. He's got it. A little overbearing, but better than the other one who forgets to call. Not forgets, I just too into his own self. Anyway, it is what it is, you know. And I don't know what all your situations are. I don't know if you're fresh with your grief. And if you are, I'm sorry. I've been there. Remember, my son died 10 days before Christmas. So I've been there. I I know. But it doesn't make Christmas any easier. It just makes it to where you have no choice but to accept the fact. And which is why I don't do any holiday decorations. I don't perform the Christmas ritual. I opted out of that because I don't need to relive that time. And we have to learn when we lose loved ones around these holidays, any holiday for that matter. My mother died the day before Easter when I was 7. So it's always around the holidays, but it's not that we learn to move on. We just learn to live with it. We learn to accept because we can't change it. So we accept and go to bed and hope tomorrow's a better day. And if it's not, try and make it a better day. Or another option is, I don't have it in my area. My area is too small, but I do know, being born and raised in a bigger city, it'd be very easy to find. If you don't want to be alone, go to a missionary or go to a soup kitchen. Call them and see if you can donate your time. I'm sure they need the help. Cleaning tables, filling plates of food, passing them out. There's all kinds, there's hundreds of them places in Chicago. Pretty easy to find. And then, like I said, if you live close to a big city, I'm sure that they've got, a Salvation Army. Salvation Army feeds homeless. They feed, people without. And if you, not only would you be doing service to the community, but you'd make yourself feel good, and you wouldn't feel that loneliness because you're with people. It doesn't matter if they're your people. You are doing something, you're keeping busy, you are contributing to making someone else happy. And when we make someone else happy, it makes us feel better. So that's what we have to do. And if that's not available to you, like you live in too small of a community or whatever, then either go to a church service, because there are some that have midnight masses or evening masses. Go to a church service, even if it's not your denomination. Go anyway. There's loving people there. Go anyway. Talk to God personally. You don't have to join in there, But the idea is, you're not alone. You're sitting with people. You're amongst a community. So if it's really eating at you by sitting at home alone in your recliner, you could go do that too. Or if you are disabled and you cannot get out of your home, jump on here. I will send out a message. Christmas Eve, I will send out a message, and I'll post in the community notes what time I will be on live. And I'll sit here talking to myself until some people join the chat, and then we'll spend time together. And we'll find good stuff to talk about instead of depressing stuff. I think that would be a very good idea. So there's your options. And I just want you to know, if you're alone and you're lonely and you're grieving, or, old memories are coming up and smacking you on the side of the head, somebody's always got a worse story. There's tragedies all over the world that are happening right now. So it's not just you. It's not just me. It's not just the people in North Carolina, the people in Wisconsin. Every single day it's happening to somebody else. Unfortunately, maybe a group of people. We need to find a way to come together as a community and be there for each other. So I want you to know that on Christmas Eve, you look for me, Go on YouTube. There's community notes there. I'll post a note with, about what time I'm going live. And I will be sitting here. And if anybody is alone and they don't want to be alone, come join me. I'm right here. And I'm not going anywhere. And I'm here for you. That's why I come on here. To be with you. To talk to you. To tell you different experiences. To share with you. I don't do it because I don't have nothing better to do. I'm sure I can find a closet to clean or something like that. And I'm certainly not here for money because I don't get any. I do it for you because I've been there. I'm still there. And there's so many of you out there that have suffered loss this year. Do you know over 2 million people have died in the United States alone this year in 2024? I looked it up last night. Over 2 million people in the United States, not the world, just this country. And that number is low. Keep in mind, they're estimating 2,000 in North Carolina from Helene. And the majority of them people are buried under mud and they can't find them. So they're calling them missing. I don't know anybody that can be buried under 6 feet of mud that could possibly still be alive for that period of time without air. But they're still missing. So the family is grieving with no confirmation of nothing. At least no closure. If they could find some kind of remains, at least it's closure. But for the majority of those people, there will never be closure. So anyway, I am already 33 minutes into this video. And I just wanted to talk to you people that are sitting there alone and will be alone in 4 more days and 5 more days, because you got the eve and then the day. And I want you to know you're not alone. If you can't find a community service to go do to where you could be with others, you don't have to know them, just be amongst them. And if that's not an option for you, then come join me. I'll be your option. Okay? Because I care. And I will talk to you soon. And please like and please subscribe to my channel, because the more you like and the more you subscribe, the more YouTube pushes me out there to show other people, hey, this woman's around, hanging around on our studio, and maybe you want to look. Okay, you all have a good night. Thanks for listening to me, and I hope this resonated with you, and keep on keeping on, because I'm right there with you. I love you all. Have a good night, and I will talk soon to you. Good night.